So we'll go ahead and get started. Today's practice is going to be mostly an affirmation practice. So still in this theme of joy and gratitude, but it's been a while since I've done a full practice of affirmations. So the way that I like to guide this practice is sometimes I'll sprinkle some in here and there in our practices, but for pretty much every pose, you'll have a new affirmation. And so you just repeat these affirmations to yourself silently or aloud since you're in your homes. You can do it aloud if you'd like. And then we just kind of use that time in the pose to think about reflecting on how that affirmation resonates with you and just exploring that practice of, is this something that I'm feeling a little bit of resistance to? Is it something that really aligns with me? Can I embrace this affirmation? And just exploring those thoughts around each one. All of these affirmations are about joy, gratitude, and just embracing that for the season. So let's go ahead and get started. We'll start laying down on our mats. So just laying down on your back, taking a few moments to just arrive into the space. So you can find any supportive posture here, maybe Shavasana, just bringing the arms and legs out long. You could also have the knees bent here if you'd like. Sometimes in the mornings, our bodies are a little stiff, and so it might not be comfortable to just lay flat here. So bending the knees will just help the low back a little bit. So just find what feels best. Take a few moments to just come into the corners of your mat, come into the space wherever you are. And just tuning into the breath. Allow the breath to just come to an organic rhythm. If you've been busy this morning, running around, try to just settle in. Let go of any worries about things that need to get done, and just honor this time together, this time on your mat. Time to pause before you head into the rest of your day. One of the reflection questions that we have been working with is just really thinking about in the beginning of our practice, how do I seek joy, or how do I embrace joy in my life, or even create it in my life? So just thinking about joy in your life, how you relate to it, how you want to create joy, and just letting that be in the space with you as we begin. We'll move into our next pose here, just walking the feet over to the bottom left corner of the mat and maybe crossing the right ankle on top of the left, and then shifting the shoulders to the top left corner of the mat. finding banana asana. So we're opening up through the right side body. And arms can come up overhead. You can cactus the arms here, bending into the elbows, and just finding a comfortable position here. It doesn't have to be arms extended. We want to have the back of our arms resting on the mat. So wherever that is in your range of motion here. And if maybe the side body is a little tight here or the low back is uncomfortable in this position, you can try uncrossing the legs or even just bending into the knees and then crossing the right knee over the left. So this is just a more gentle way to access this pose if you're feeling too much sensation in this first position. Always honoring our bodies wherever they are as we arrive in the practice. Our first affirmation here, I choose to see and honor the beauty of life around me. I choose to see and honor the beauty of life around me. And just repeating that aloud or to yourself. I choose to see and honor the beauty of life around me. go ahead and allow the arms to just float down to your sides. Bring the shoulders back through center. Uncross the legs. Then walk the feet in towards the hips. Just take a few windshield wiper motions back and forth here, letting the knees fall side to side. Then we'll come through center, extend the legs out long once more. This time walking the ankles over to the bottom right corner. Cross the left ankle on top of the right maybe. And then bring the shoulders to the top right corner. Find a comfortable position for the arms once more. Take a few moments to settle in here. Maybe it feels more comfortable to bend into the knees on this side. It might be a little different than the other side, and that's okay. Now, as you settle in, just really tuning into the breath. Feel the expansion of the rib cage, the side body now opening on the left side. Our affirmation here: I welcome joy into my life. I welcome joy to my life. And just thinking of opening in the body, and that being a place where we can just call in joy, opening the sides of our body, opening our body in general through our practice today. I welcome joy into my life. Look the arms down, bring shoulders back through center, and cross the legs, and walk the feet in. Maybe hugging the knees in towards the chest here and just taking a little rock side to side, rocking out the low back and the hips. We'll come into a supine twist, bringing the feet hip distance apart, knees bent. Press the heels into the mat, lift the hips, and shift them over to the left. Then allow your knees to fall to the right, and they can be closer in towards the heart space, further down towards the bottom of the mat. You can use props here to support you, maybe a block or pillow between the knees or one under the knees. Any option here that supports the spine as we hold this shape. And then melting both shoulders down to the mat, bring the arms out to a T, and then bring the gaze over to the left fingertips. So taking a moment here to just find any support you need, make adjustments, and then bringing your awareness into the belly, into your center. Our affirmation here, I release all resistance to joy. I release all resistance to joy. There may be many reasons that we feel a little resistance when we're thinking of affirmations. Maybe we're just in a place where we're not feeling like we have the capacity for joy, or maybe we feel we don't deserve it in some way. So just taking this time to identify anything, if it's come up, any sense of resistance to embodying or embracing joy in your life, and just setting the intention to let that go. I release all resistance.
Mindfully unwind through at center, releasing your props to the side, carefully shifting the hips back in line with the shoulders. And taking any gentle movement here that feels good, maybe windshield wipers with the legs or hugging the knees in towards the chest. Even an option here to find happy baby if you'd like, reaching through and grabbing on wherever you can, outside of the feet, the ankles, or back of the thighs. And just taking a few moments here to reset before we move into the other side. And then when you're ready, dropping the feet back down, hip distance apart, pressing the heels into the mat, lift the hips up, shift them to the right, and then let the knees fall to the left this time. And taking care to use your props however you like, taking a moment to set up, and then bringing the arms out to the sides to a T, and letting your gaze land on the right fingertips. Allow your awareness to land back at your center. Breathing into the belly. Our affirmation here is, my life is a joyful expression of my essence. My life is a joyful expression of my essence. Slowly unwinding back through the center, releasing your blocks to the side, shifting the hips back in line with the shoulders. Maybe just lengthening the legs out here, bringing the arms up overhead and taking a little stretch. Fingertips to toes, lengthening the spine out. Bringing the arms down to the sides. We'll walk the feet in one more time, finding supported bridge pose. So if you have blocks at home, you can just use this widest surface area. If you don't have blocks, you can use a folded up towel or blanket or even a pillow that's a little firm. So we'll bring the heels close to the hips and then press them into the mat, lifting the hips up and then placing your support, whatever it is, under the seat. So just below the low back, allow the sit bones just to rest there, the sacrum to rest on that support. And you can have the knees bent here, or you could bring the legs out long. That's an option as well. Just stretching a little more into the hip flexors. And just be mindful of where you feel sensation here, maybe in the low back, or even in the low belly or hips. And if that feels okay, that's fine. You can stay there. If it feels like it might be a little too intense at any time, you can walk the feet back in, just coming back to this first position. So always a choice here. Never have to push your body into any shape that it's really not feeling in the moment. And then bring the chin to the chest, lengthening the back of the neck. Allow the shoulders to soften down towards the mat. Bring the arms out to your sides, maybe palms facing up or palms facing down, whatever's most comfortable here. Sometimes I like to have the palms facing up just to receive some supportive energy for my day, or palms facing down to ground any excess energy if you're feeling a little scattered or overwhelmed. Our affirmation here: I celebrate the gift of life with joy and gratitude. I celebrate the gift of life with joy and gratitude. press the heels into the mat, lifting the hips up, and removing your prop, and then lowering the hips back down to the mat. Take any gentle movement here that you feel called to take, just to release that pose. Any of the options we've taken so far, or anything that your body is guiding you to do. And when you're ready, we'll meet in tabletop pose. So maybe just rolling to one side and then slowly coming up. You can use your blanket to support the knees if you'd like, or hold your mat. And tabletop, knees stack under the hips, hands come under the shoulders. We'll take some rounds of cat-cows here. Pressing the earth away, crown of the head drops, round through the shoulders, tailbone tucks. Inhale, tailbone swoops up, low belly drops, heart forward, gaze forward. Exhale into cat pose, rounding forward. Press the earth away, gaze towards the navel. Inhale into cow pose, open the front side of the body. Tailbone lifts, gaze lifts. And move through these at your own pace. Taking any movement here that you'd like to take, maybe rocking the hips, maybe feeling a little more into the shoulders and the neck. We're just finding the flow between cat and cow pose. Our affirmation here is, I choose to see the beauty and wonder in the world around me. I choose to see the beauty and wonder in the world around We'll come back to tabletop pose and then bring the forearms to the mat. Lower the belly down, bringing the legs out long and finding Sphinx pose. So here the elbows can be stacked under the shoulders, forearms pressed into the mat, palms pressed into the mat, and shoulder blades draw together. If this is uncomfortable for the low back, you can try bringing the arms further out towards the sides of the mat or further up towards the top. At any time, you can always lower down, crossing the forearms and resting your head. So take a moment here to find where you'd like to be. And our affirmation here, my life is a reflection of the joy I choose to cultivate. My life is a reflection of the joy I choose to cultivate. Down if you haven't already, just crossing your arms, resting your head, and allowing the spine to be straight for a moment. And draw the hands under the shoulders. Hug the elbows in towards the body. Press back and come back into tabletop to transition into child's pose. Here, bringing the big toes to touch, knees towards the edges of the mat. Walk the hands back, sinking the hips down towards the heels. You could even place a bolster block or pillow here just to support the hips. And then walk the hands out towards the top of the mat and bring the heart center and forehead towards the earth. And this is choice number one, just breathing into the belly here. Another option, if you're feeling like you want a little more practice for the shoulders today, would be to thread the needle from Balasana, child's pose. So pressing one hand into the mat and then reaching the other arm through, palm facing up and coming to rest on that shoulder. And I'll cue about halfway through if you've chosen to take thread the needle here to move to the other side. And our affirmation for this pose is simply, today I choose joy. Today I choose joy. If you've taken that thread the needle variation, just unwind through center and find the opposite side.
Go ahead and walk the hands back all the way up. Just taking a moment to pause here. And then we'll come into easy seated pose. Taking a final moment before we close our practice for one last affirmation. And just finding a comfortable position to sit here, sitting up nice and tall. Crown of your head reaching up towards the sky, lengthening the spine and rooting down through the hips, the base of your spine. Finding a noble posture. Heart gently comes forward. Breathe into the belly. Let it be soft. Let the shoulders relax down away from your ears. Maybe closing your eyes here. And the goal of our practice today, as we work through these affirmations, incorporating them into each pose and focusing on joy and gratitude, is not to forget about all of the other emotions that we experience, but to know that joy is also here at any moment. So our last affirmation for this practice is, I embrace the full spectrum of emotions, knowing joy is always within reach. I embrace the full spectrum of emotions, knowing joy is always within reach. The hands to heart center in gratitude. Or bodies that can move through this practice in any way whatsoever. I'm grateful for people to practice with, beautiful spaces to practice in, and a moment to pause before we begin our day. As you carry this practice with you into the rest of your day, may you embrace the wisdom of your human experience with an open mind and a kind